I have written 4 books in 3 years, and actually 2 years because I don't think I started right when I was moving, and I'm using the time frame of me moving. So, how do you do that? Is that even the goal? We'll get into all of it. So, you don't have to have this as your goal because I do believe in I don't believe in artistic block because I do think you can freshen things up and get it rolling again, but I do believe in peaks and valleys in the sense of there's times when I am just so inspired and there's 10 poems flowing out of me like that. And then there's other days where I don't write a poem. There's tons of days, well, tons is so dramatic. But there's some days where I don't write a poem at all. And because I don't label it so strongly, and I'm like, now I have artistic block, I must write more. These days just pass. But those days exist, and those weeks exist, and those months exist, and those years exist. And I want to always leave room for myself and others to understand that because that is the magic of art is a little bit you kind of don't know where it's coming from and you don't have a like direct phone line like beep 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 can we please have some more art, thank you. Like it just doesn't work like that. You have to live life, you have to see things, and even then you can't control it. It's not a super controllable force. But you can do a couple things to when you are in that artistic high, or not high, but like you are in the peak, to harness that and to really take advantage of what you have, which is the artist versus the manager. Those two need to live both within you, which is the artist is the creative and the up in the air and concepts and ideas and word definitions and whatever art form you have, painting, paint colors, oh let's make a new color, oh this, oh that, sculpture, new texture, da da da. That is the artist. And the manager is there's a fucking deadline for this shit. Which there is a fucking deadline for this shit, and you do need to make deadlines. And that sounds so, as the artist part of me and as the artist part of you, you're like, art needs to live and breathe, and it's like food, it cannot go expired. And the manager's like, food goes expired because you're living it, but you need to capture it, because if you capture it over a long, I mean, depends. There's artists and writers and that have written books in the time span of 12 years, and but they knew that, like, I believe they knew that, and not in the sense of a they were probably busy and had an actual job they had to tend to, and they might have wanted to write it faster, and B, they were in a time where you had to write with hand. Like, there's tons of reasons why it can take really long. But even then, I'm sure, look, you can always compare yourselves to the greats and feel miserable about yourself. Like, the greats get to kind of do what they want to do whenever they feel like doing it. But I think a deadline is wonderful because for me, the artist I am, my mind changes, my opinions change, who I am changes in the span of a couple of years. And maybe because I'm in my early 20s, and when I'm in my 30s, I will then write a book for a long time because I will be more solid in me. But my opinion changes all the time. And me 2, 3 years ago writing the same book and me now writing the same book would be two different people writing a book. Okay, I have to put on my mic because the construction is just being so lovely today and ruining my whole YouTube video. I've had construction everywhere I went for the last year or so. Oh, and now it slows down. Ugh, I tell you. Okay. Back to business. So of course the grades can do what they want, but when it's interesting because a grade was also a beginner. And there's this not street credit, but there's this like artistic credit you get at some point where it's like, yeah, take 10 years for an album, take 12 years for a book. And you can. You cannot absolutely not take 12 years for a book. If you think this book warrants 12 years, go for it. But that's even a deadline. A deadline doesn't have to be 1 year. It can be, and I also think I write my books pretty quickly because I live my books. So for example, my first fiction book was it's about modern dating, and a lot more, but I don't want to spoil anything. I had dated for quite a bit of time already before writing that, and so I had heard about the male mind a lot because I had dated the male mind, and I had been the one dating, and so yes, it took me a year to finish it and 3 months to write the first draft, but I also had lived it in some way, a sense of the word, for ages. And so also, when do you start measuring? It is same with my first poetry book. I compiled it and put it out, but I started writing it at 15. So these are all, the only one that is relatively quick that happened was the second poetry book. That was really, really quick. But it doesn't matter. It's not, a deadline is not to show off. A deadline is for you, so you get it done. So there's an incentive for you to get it done. That's why traditional publishing in some ways is great. I didn't do traditional publishing, but I could see how it could be great is because they give you a deadline. And writers would have a deadline, most of them. And you need to make a picture, you can't make it huge. The best if you want the best picture of your face, it's probably not the picture of your face being like 10 miles away. It's probably not. The best picture of your face is probably either really close up, depending on how good you look. No, I'm joking. Or a little further away. But it's not the picture that's like 10,000 miles away from you. And it's the same with art. The best art is probably not never, but probably not the art that you give no deadline to, that you say is 10,000 miles away, because you are trying to take a picture of a moment in time. Because art is not vague. By nature, art is not concrete, but it is specific. Yeah, so that was the rounding up of the art course. I hope you liked it, and yeah.